Real quick, though, let's talk about some of the stuff that's also going on. For example, last week we had E3 Clutch. What was going on there? You were hosting. What was announced over there?
E3 was huge, and one of the biggest announcements that everybody pretty much saw because of the press conference for Microsoft was that World of Tanks is now going to have an Xbox 360 edition. What does that mean? A free-to-play version of World of Tanks on the console. This is huge, especially for the Western market. We all know that World of Tanks is gigantic in the East. I mean, huge in Russia, getting bigger and bigger in South Korea. It's big in China. It's getting bigger and bigger in Europe. It's huge in Poland. And here in the West, there's a pretty big player base. But it's going to get even bigger because of the console system, the console type of game, the console version. So with the Xbox 360 version, some people were kind of concerned. They were thinking, wait a second, is this going to be a port? And when you hear port, many gamers just cringe at that word because that's not what we want to experience when we have a game move from a PC to a console. Well, fortunately, Day One Studios, which was purchased by Wargaming, had built a lot of different console games, one of them being Mechassault, the first ever game on the Xbox Live system for the first Xbox. So they had people that were dedicated and experienced when it came to how to build a game for the console. Because of that, this version of World of Tanks for the Xbox 360 is custom built for the console. They've changed the graphics, the explosions look bigger, the font is larger, the map system works differently, it actually turns with your tank as you're going. And with those different things, you think it's kind of a small thing, but honestly, in a living room experience, when you're sitting 10 feet, 8 feet away from a big TV, the information is going to be presented differently compared to sitting in front of a 27-inch monitor, you know, a foot, maybe 2 feet. So because of that, Wargaming understood there need to be proper presentation along with proper building of this game. So when Rookhill and I were checking that out, that was the first thing I was very excited because it seemed they hired the right people and had the right plan to transition this properly over to consoles. They also had World of Warplanes there, which was great. World of Warplanes was a lot of fun to play. They had the option to play with a keyboard or mouse, or keyboard and mouse, or joystick. And so with those different options, people were able to check out the game themselves. And it was a lot of fun to sit down with Ivan, who oversaw a lot of the bugs and bug reporting and dealt with a lot of the beta people that were involved with the program about World of Warplanes. He gave us a lot of different breakdowns of how the game is played, how to properly play it, the different maps. One of the maps they have there is actually called Bay, and it's supposed to reflect the San Francisco Bay with a huge bridge that you can fly through.
The Golden Gate.
The Golden Gate Bridge, yeah.
Oh, no way.
Which is pretty cool, yeah.
That's
so
sweet.
you can play that in World of Warplanes.
Yeah.
And then the final game, which was announced in the past, but actually showed off some actual gameplay, was World of Warships. But you couldn't record. It was closed off to the public in terms of taking pictures. You had to walk into a theater and check it out. And it was a very nice presentation. And honestly, when you think about how would warships work in an online PvP play, it does work and how they built it. I can't go into too much detail because it would reveal kind of some of the things that, honestly, the people went there to see and wait in line at E3. But what they were able to show, it made me raise my eyebrows and think, wow, this can actually work. This is really cool. Okay, I can say one thing, all right?
Okay.
So,
because right now you're just being a giant tease.
I know. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for this. But the carriers, which have the airplanes on them, it actually works like an RTS when you're playing a carrier because you can control the different target points of the planes that launch from your carrier, which is pretty cool. And that's just one of the ships that you can
Please
have.
don't tease me like this.
That's I know, man.
So
Do
it's,
not tease
So
me
it's
like
an
this.
RTS
Just by using the carrier.
element of
Yeah.
using of where the
Guess what I'm gonna
things
play?
It's an
launch
RTS
off.
element inside a PvP arena.
And this all carries over from tanks to planes to ships, right? The accounts?
What do you mean? Oh, yes. All the accounts are
Okay.
combined together. So that was
Fair.
another big announcement that Wargaming had recently.
That's
Instead of
cool.
all under one
That's
account.
cool because I would hate to just like restart if since I have like all the gold in the world, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually at 0 right now. But when I get all the gold in the world for winning everything,
Yeah.
that's
gonna be a lot
I
of
would
fun.
want it to carry
I'm actually
over
looking forward to
planes
that,
and ships.
and I've heard a lot about World of Warships. I really want to play that as well. Who doesn't want to play submarine, right?
They don't
Yeah.
have submarines in the game. I found that out.
It's
I
more
know.
carriers.
Well, still, who doesn't want to? Okay?
I know.
yes,
It's-
your point still stands.
Okay, who doesn't want to play carriers and submarines?
Yeah. We actually have a video to show off the huge announcement that happened during the press conference, so you guys get to take a look at what it looks like to see World of Tanks on the Xbox 360. Roll out. That's what it's going to say, man. That's what it's going to say all over Xbox Live. You can sign up for the beta, and for more information, go to worldoftanks.com/Xbox. Rukill and I had a lot of fun playing. We saw a lot of the different system specs that were used in terms of how artillery played, how tank destroyers played. One of the other changes that they had is that when you look through the viewfinder, when you are in sniper mode, you actually see your gun turret. So it's like you're actually looking out of the viewfinder of the tank compared to in the PC version where you have a number of different sight lines. You get closer and closer or back and back. And there's only 2 different sight lines you could have when you're in the sniper mode. You have the straight out of the tank with the turret, and then you depressed the control stick, and you would actually look further. And that's the only 2 different zoom mods that you had. But it was pretty neat. The explosions again were huge. Also, the voice acting was different. They recorded all new voices for all the VO of the crews. So when you're listening to it, you're thinking, what? That sounds different than the PC version. Well, it's because they re-recorded the voices. I look forward to more information that's going to be released for World of Tanks in the Xbox 360 version. And also, it's another way to tell my friends, hey, you may not have the best PC or the best internet connection, but you can play this on the console. And you can go to a friend's house and play it as well.
You don't need a 24-hour connection constantly to play World of Tanks. In fact, Xbox has recently rolled back some of those decisions. You can find, again, all that information at xbox.com. Yeah. I don't know exact specific details, but Don Matrick certainly does.
It was the press conference was very, very entertaining. And another thing that was very entertaining was actually...
Entertaining was one word.
Yeah, definitely. But another thing that was entertaining was to get to meet everyone that was involved with wargaming in the company. And one of the coolest things was actually to see the CEO, Victor Kiesley, come out on stage and talk about World of Tanks. We actually have a video real quick we'll show. Then after that, I think the match is going to be ready, of who the CEO of wargaming is. And he is a really excited guy. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Please welcome the CEO of wargaming, Victor Kiesley.
At wargaming, we create blockbuster games. We have delivered a global hit on the PC and are now bringing this to Xbox 360. When we thought about which console platform delivers the best World of Tanks experience, Xbox 360 and the 48 million member Xbox Live community were the perfect match. World of Tanks provides team-based 15-on-15 player armored warfare where you take the driver's seat of the world's most powerful tanks. We have worked hard to adapt and tailor the World of Tanks experience for Xbox 360. From deep integration with Xbox Live to tuning specifically for the Xbox 360 controller. We will bring World of Tanks to life for millions of Xbox fans around the world. So, download the game for free, get behind the controls, and command your tank. This summer, only on Xbox 360. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. We are so...
Man, he was so excited to be out there, and it was really cool. Another thing, too, since Microsoft actually mentioned that they're switching away from Microsoft points and going to actual currency. That's another big thing as well. And so that currency will be American dollars within the U.S., and you'll use that in the free-to-win model for World of Tanks. And that's pretty much sums up everything that happened in E3. But if you guys have more questions about the Xbox 360 version, ask me on Twitter at Clutch08 or Ruukil at RUUKIL.
Thank you very much, Clutch, for that great breakdown. Again, thank you, Victor, for a great speech, considering that these Russians are really passionate about their game. It's very clear that it came out through their E3 message. I'm just naturally bumping nowadays because I've seen that video. Randall, I just have to say, you are braver than I could ever be. Just absolutely, it takes balls to do that, man. Someone even pointed out on Twitter, it takes balls to do the Roo.
It does.
Do the Roo.
It does. That's going to be a music video now.
Chin up,
For
man.
the
Chin
finals.
up. Chin up.